This is the journal that I made for Dear Julie Julie's November 1-2 2024 Junk Journal Challenge. She gave us two lists to work with. List number 1, we had to make an element and a page idea, and list number 2, we just had to make some kind of embellishment. And so this is what I came up with. And of course, even though there wasn't very many elements, I still ended up with more than I wanted for one signature, so I ended up making 2. And to make it into one journal, I decided this time I was going to include a box. So therefore, you see the box. Now, number 1, journal. I'm calling this one the journal part of the journal, and that's why I did the little cluster here with the word journal on it. The two digitals that I used from Dear Julie Julie are Watercolor Fall and Black and White. And there might have been a freebie Friday in there. So number 1 item was brown paper bag. And so I made my covers for a brown paper bag. This is the dangle made out of the jewelry. And I had an old jewelry and took it apart, the necklace, and made that. My next item is an oval, and it is a journaling card. Throughout the whole journal, I added these little journaling prompts, words, and there's probably one on either every card or every page to help with your journaling. The next is my vellum pocket, so I made the whole page was vellum on both sides, front and back, and inside it I made a large journal card out of the parchment. And they just tuck in there. Lots and lots of room for journaling. I kept a lot of pages, very plain. This was just an extra element that I did. I wanted to include this envelope, and you'll see why in a minute. And I just added a couple of journal cards, made it into a corner tuck, but the main thing is I added my cluster here. And my cluster was made with the Vogue sewing pattern as its base. And this is the envelope that I wanted to include, and the reason being is I wanted to include one of these beautiful watercolor greeting cards for the person. So that's that. And now another beautiful digital from the kit. This is the watercolor fall kit. This is my roll of paper, which is my Zorro flip out pocket, and it just flips all the way out. And then this page here is again the roll of paper, and it is my page idea, and it's a double corner page. And inside there is my wallet, and I made my wallet with my map. It has a pocket here, 2 pockets on the inside. Stuffed full. And in the other double corner pocket is my embossed. So for my embossing, I used old wedding invitation paper, and so this one I made the scrappy notebook out of it, and you'll see my page idea coming up. My numbers idea was the bookmark, and it sits in the pocket from the brown paper bag, which is the sack bottom pocket. And then my music embellishment is my belly band, and it has a pocket in the belly band that sits there, and then it holds a beautiful journaling card. And again, this beautiful paper that I get from work, I was going to sew around it all, but I didn't want to take away from the back of the writing space, so I just left them all. Just rounded the corners and put one of the beautiful images from the digital kit in it. This is my music, a flip-flop with a flap. And this is the other side of the vellum large pocket, and that is the parchment paper journaling card. It doesn't have much body because it's just a piece of like copy paper, really, that parchment. And then this is just an extra. I printed it. It's one of the pamphlets. I printed the 3 large tags on it, but didn't need them in the end, and so I just tucked into that pocket and just decorated this other pocket. So that is the journal part, and my next part is the notes part, and on it, again, just decorated the front with a beautiful image, and I made my ribbon tassel. And there's some charms that I made, and basically it's ribbon and yarn. And again, the front pocket with the cluster. This is my envelope embellishment, and it is just a journal card. Lots of room on that one for writing. This is the envelopes that came with the wedding invitations that you'll see in the middle of this signature. This is the flap, so I stuck this flap on this one and the other flap on the other side, and then I opened it up at the ends and made a large pocket, and then from there it gives you another pocket. So basically I'm calling this page large pocket page with inside pocket. And then my notebook element, I used a composition book, and I took the pages from that. I put a pocket on it, and then a journal card. And I had another one of those ovals that matched the other oval in the other journal, so I just used it for decoration. And then this is my educational element, and it is a stack of note. So there's encyclopedia in there, and there's some recipe book. So that's the education. More pages from the composition book. This is my notebook embellishment, and it is what I'm calling a flip and fold folio. So there's this one side, I flipped the page back to make a little pocket here, and a pocket, I flipped it up to make another pocket, and that's why I call it the flip and fold, because all that turned into pockets. This was a art book that I had. Now I know that's not watercolor, but I really liked that page, so I put it in there. This is just, again, an extra one that I printed that I didn't use as one of my elements. So it is the flip up 6-pack, and I stuffed it full of little journal cards. Lots of journal cards in here. So the ones that for just stuffing stuff, I just took some stuff out of my stash and stuffed them in there. So this is the invitation, the page for my embossing, and there you can see the embossing of the roses, and it's a really nice thick cardstock, and so that became this page, and I'm calling this one, it's a double pocket, but it's actually 4 pockets because it gets pockets everywhere. Now we're up to Opus. That's the other part of that. Oh yes, the book page. So we had to use book pages for things, so I took the book page out of the book, and then I put a corner tuck on it, and I had extras of these, so I just tucked them in that pocket. And then this is the other side of the flip and fold folio, and then my Opus is a paperclip embellishment, and it is on both sides. I just made it into a long one because I wanted to use these images again, and it just holds that on this side, and it holds on this side my encyclopedia embellishment, which is a tip-in, and it's one of the ones extra that I had from the mini challenge in the challenge. And speaking of that, if you go and watch it, I've posted it both in the community and in this challenge. It's a I don't know what you call it, a folding recipe file. So that was the extra pocket that I made. And I know I didn't make them exactly like Julie's favorites, but this is the size I needed to make the recipe card file work. This is just an extra, this envelope, the back of the envelope page again, and I put an extra small little envelope on top of it to make a pocket. And inside this one I just put another little stack of note that was, or little notebook that was extra to fill that pocket. And then another cluster on the back page, and I put 2 more cards in there. And I used every scrap of everything that I printed, and I can't even tell you how many pages I printed. It was a lot. So that is my journal for November that arrives in a box all ready to go, and when it sits in your desk you will see the tassels hanging out, which I think is kind of cool. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and I'm glad that you stopped by my channel. Thank you. Bye-bye.